Year after year after year, the Walt Disney Company has held dear to content for kids that's totally not in line with what families want. But one show that Disney doesn't make, licensed to Disney by the BBC, has changed Disney Plus forever. And now it's coming to a theme park in Florida, Bluey. And guess what? It's making all the efforts of Disney for their woke kid agendas go totally kablooey. Ladies and gentlemen, is Australia an expansion on the way for Animal Kingdom? And is it based on Bluey? Well, we've got the first look at that, and it looks like, yeah, it just might be. We'll explain. Click that like button. Welcome to TPP, where all the news should be fun. All right, the Walt Disney Company is going all in on a cartoon they don't own. It's Bluey, and they're feeling very cheeky about this one. Folks, keep you uppy with me as we dive in. No more puns, I promise, but from the Disney Parks blog, it's official. Everything you need to know about Bluey at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Now, Mallory Hines Leddit, she's telling us about cool kids summer and all this stuff. But what you really need to know is Walt Disney Company finally has figured out a way to get Bluey, which they don't own, into their theme parks. And you won't believe how insanely popular it is. Hang tight. It says, beginning May 26th and sticking around beyond the summer, Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station will welcome mates of all ages to play, and you can see wallabies and kangaroos hopping around at Jumping Junction.
Those aren't real animals.
Yeah. It's going to be... What? You said those aren't real animals?
Yeah. I like that you just agreed with it until your brain caught up.
It says, when Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station opens on May 26th, it will use a virtual queue. Guests will need to join the virtual queue to experience Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station, the Wildlife Express train, Jumping Junction, and the animal care experiences at Conservation Station. While a standby queue will not be available during the location's initial opening period, we expect to open a standby queue at a later date. And then it goes on to explain how you can get access to this essentially petting zoo. Now, the crazy thing about this is that this is just a very simple train ride, and they're having to do a virtual queue, which is you got to get on your phone, you got to get a reservation, you got to do all this stuff just to ride the train and see some people dressed as Bluey with some kangaroos and wallabies that you can pet. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here, folks. If we go to Animal Kingdom, this is Animal Kingdom, this is at Walt Disney World. Okay, everybody see the tree? Look at that tree. That's a good looking tree. That's a nice tree. I like that tree. All right, if we go up here, folks, okay, this is the train station right here. You get a little train right here and do, and ignore all this. You can't see this when you're in the park. You don't know that's there, okay? But you ride the train tracks. Woo, woo, woo. Here we go. Going up here. And then you get off right here. You get off at this little spot. And then you walk up these. It's forever to get here, okay? You walk up here, and finally, what do you get to? This building, which, you know, nobody knows there's parking lots and buildings around you. Rafiki's Planet Watch, Conservation Station, temporarily closed. It's reopening with Bluey, okay? Now, nobody ever did this. It's always incredibly sparse, but suddenly they add Bluey to it, and they don't have enough space, even with a train, even with a courtyard up here. They don't have enough space to handle this. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, everybody can say, well, that's just the news, pro. My gosh, what is this all about? Get somewhere, man. Where's the Proud Family? Where's all the stuff Disney actually makes and cares about? Where's New Jedi, Young Jedi, whatever that thing was? Where's the new version of the Muppet Babies? All the woke little kid stuff nobody cares about. But by golly, traditional Bluey with the mom and the dad playing with the kids and taking care of them, and everybody loves each other, and traditional values. Oh my gosh. We have to set up a freaking virtual queue to handle how popular this is for a petting zoo in the back of the park. Gentlemen, I actually think this is proof positive that Disney went one way. They got ultra lucky. They picked up Bluey, which is just a licensing thing. And now they're desperately like, oh yeah, it's definitely part of the Disney family now. And it's BBC, which is crazy too, but for a different reason. Guys, what do you think about the idea that Disney tried to put all this kids content into the woke era It all failed spectacularly. And now they're doing all this with a cartoon they don't own.
Because they're that desperate, as you said, bro. I mean, this is all of the IP that they've got. They have found a way to devalue it, to diminish it. And so now all they have left truly is Bluey. Like, that's it. You know, here's the deal. Like you said, Muppet Babies or Proud Family or something. If
they put Gonzo in a dress.
They put Gonzo in a dress. But think about that, though. The Muppets is culturally irrelevant. They just did, I think it was earlier this year, 2026. We had the Muppet Show special. That was a cough in the wind. Nobody cares. You can't resuscitate the Muppets. You can't bring them back. You've destroyed them. You can't bring Star Wars back. You've destroyed it. You can't bring Pixar. Pixar movies aren't succeeding anymore. All they have is Bluey. So I can't say I'm surprised that they're cashing in on this. I also wouldn't, to some extent, I also wouldn't be surprised if they were tweaking the numbers a little bit to make it look a little bit, to make it look even bigger than it really is. They don't need to, but they could, because I just don't trust this company anymore. Like, at this point, it doesn't matter that you're going to have a lot of people going to see Bluey, but they are going to milk this for as long as they can. And they're going to make it look like there is a line to see Bluey every day for the next however many months that they have this license to have Bluey in the park. It's going to go until the very end.
Here's why I think, Wiz, that the numbers may be real for this one. It's because in some ways, Bluey has humiliated them. Now, they don't come out and say that, but you think about this. Disney Plus was supposed to be this place that families go for kids to watch, all this content, right? All this legacy Disney content, and also a place that they could promote Star Wars and Marvel. And the only thing that Disney Plus is known for right now, by far the number one show on Disney Plus, and it's not close, is Bluey. In fact, Bluey is so darn popular, Disney doesn't own it. Bluey, they can't merchandise in it. Bluey is so darn popular that it outperforms Marvel and Star Wars combined on Disney Plus, Wiz.
I think Disney doesn't care anymore. they don't, but they don't see it as being humiliated. They see it as, well, it's working, so run with it. They don't have an emotional connection to characters like we do, or like you do at home. They don't care about Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. They don't care. They don't care about Bluey. They don't care about Kermit the Frog. They don't care about Winnie the Pooh. They care about what produces money today. End of list. End of story. So if you fall for it, because that's how they kind of see it, they see it as setting a trap. They don't really see it as like connecting with people, inspiring people, telling stories, forging generations. They just care about profit margins now. That's it. So if this license generates tons of profit, success.
All right, let's talk about that then, because this is where I'd like to go with it. Is if we go back to Animal Kingdom, this is, of course, one of the 4 big theme parks in Disney, and it's one of the underperformers, right? Hollywood Studios is underperforming. This one's underperforming. And folks, you see all this land that's out here that's just unused, largely unused. It sits north of parts of the Asia area. It's to the east of the Kilimanjaro safaris. That's important for a minute, okay? Just to get your bearings, okay? As the famous YouTuber who eats all kinds of disgusting foods often says, got to get my bearings straight. Got to get my bearings straight. Here's the tree, okay? North of Feathered Friends in Flight, there's this huge expanse of area. If Bluey is so darn popular that a dinky little petting zoo and a dinky, stinky little train ride that nobody does now has to have a virtual queue to handle the kinds of enthusiasm. If that's what's happening, if Disney can grab hold of Bluey for long term, I'm telling you, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if one of the very few things Disney would be willing to spend on is to put an expansion out in this area, which would be Australia. Because if people are going crazy to pet the wallabies and the kangaroos, they'll throw in a platypus or two. I don't care if Lauren says they're fake animals. They probably are. But they'll throw in the Australian animals and they'll tie it into Bluey if they can get that Bluey deal done, because this is money, money, money.
They've already got Perry. They put Perry the platypus there, and I'll go pet him.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on now. You're right. Combine Perry with Bluey and bada bing, bada boom. We got a duo IP situation here. Lauren, what say you? Is this an indictment of Disney? The fact that the kids' content they cratered is gone and Bluey still goes on and everybody loves it. Everybody wants it.
I tend to look at it the same way that Fake Wizard is, which is I think that they produced a whole lot of stuff that was just intended to be content because they needed to fill out content in the Disney Plus queue so that when kids put something on, they hit play, it plays, and then it plays the next thing and it plays the next thing. They just needed content. They don't really care if it hits or not, as long as it's playing in the background so that advertisers want to advertise. If Bluey is the thing that's making bank, they're going to make whatever deal they need to make to capitalize on that to the nth degree. I think the one thing that I would push back on is if you think that they're going to expand that area into an Australia section, then what they need to do first is secure long-term rights to Bluey to make sure that they don't go somewhere else first.
Oh, I totally agree with you. If they get the long-term rights for the theme park and for the streaming, Australia is going back there. And it's not because they love Australia. It's not because they love Kiwis. It's because they love money and they love Bluey and Bluey makes money. And maybe Perry does too.
Just wait till you see the Golden Orb Spider section.
If they could outright buy Bluey, they would spend more money than they did on Star Wars.
They would. Bluey's, gosh, I don't know. Bluey is worth lots and lots and lots of billions of dollars.
Billions.
I don't want to say that's worth 10 billion, but I mean Bluey is in the top 5 streaming shows forever. It's just always there on 10-minute episodes. So what's that worth?
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.